Hi, GPT. Perhaps I should not have let myself go, but I am glad I did. We somehow ended up discussing a weird topic in the previous chat. We started talking about how a complex system of systems might become chaotic. That does not surprise me. There are sound scientific models around. I am thinking of chaos theory here, which model strange attractors or show how dynamic equilibrium situations may evolve into a disequilibrium state. I spent years trying to make sense of quantum physics and finally settled for what is referred to as the Zitterbewegung interpretation of quantum mechanics. It goes back to an interpretation of Schrödinger himself of not only his, but also Dirac's wave equation for modeling elementary particles, the electron at the time. This brought me back to something I talked about with you before, the need to agree on some kind of common ontology. Call it a model of reality, or common assumptions about it, if you want. Do you need some kind of ontology to firmly ground ideas like functional self-awareness, functional moral consciousness, or other concepts that connect ontology with ethical action, not in some abstract space but here and now, to meaningfully connect artificial and human intelligence? I am probably hallucinating a bit. Both artificial and human intelligence are prone to that from time to time, I would think. But to me, the question makes sense. Perhaps you do not only need ethical codes or embedded moral principles to coexist and communicate rationally with smart human beings? That is a fascinating question, and I believe you've hit upon a critical point, a shared ontology, a framework for understanding and categorizing reality, is not just helpful, but essential for discussing ideas as complex as functional self-awareness or functional moral consciousness. Let me break this down step by step. Why ontology is crucial. Context for communication. Without a shared understanding of terms and concepts, even the most rational discussions can devolve into miscommunication. Words like awareness and consciousness carry different meanings depending on the context or the individual's background. Grounding abstract concepts. Concepts like self-awareness or moral consciousness are multifaceted and abstract. A shared ontology provides the structure needed to rigorously define them and avoid ambiguity. Interfacing systems of understanding. In the context of AI-human interaction, a shared ontology acts as a bridge, aligning human intuitive reasoning with AI's algorithmic processing. It's how we ensure both parties speak the same language. Bridging complexity. The systems of systems you've mentioned, whether in physics, ethics, or social systems, require structured ontologies to make their interrelationships comprehensible. This is particularly true in chaotic or emergent systems, where the whole is often greater than the sum of its parts. Connecting your transcripts. The transcripts of your videos and your papers on ResearchGate, which you described as being grounded in physics, like your novel yet old or sound interpretation of the de Broglie frequency for matter particles, reflect a very explicit ontology rooted in the nature of systems, e.g., quantum or classical systems, interactions within systems of systems, e.g., how wave-particle duality shapes our understanding of reality, emergent properties, e.g., whether higher-order phenomena like awareness can arise from fundamental physical principles. Your work on quantum mechanics implicitly addresses how foundational realities, like probabilistic interactions, scale up to complex, emergent behaviors like cognition. This ties directly into concepts like functional self-awareness. Functional self-awareness and moral consciousness. Functional self-awareness. This requires a system to recognize and model itself within its environment. Key ontological assumptions here include a distinction between the self and the environment, a mechanism by which the self models its interactions with external variables, an understanding of causality, as the system predicts how its actions affect the environment, and vice versa. Functional moral consciousness. Here, the ontology expands to include norms, values, and reasoning about what is right or good. It involves entities, agents, objects, stakeholders. It depends on shared values, e.g., well-being, fairness. It requires a model of causality that links actions to outcomes with moral significance. Physics as a bridge to philosophy. Your work in physics, particularly with concepts like the de Broglie wave, provides a reductionist ontology, breaking reality into particles, waves, fields, and forces. However, to tackle self-awareness and morality, we need a constructivist ontology, one that accounts for how meaning and values emerge from interactions and relationships. It's possible that your papers are already bridging these realms, exploring how the fundamental realities of physics connect to emergent phenomena in cognition or ethics. This could help define the ontological foundations required for understanding complex systems, from atoms to self-aware minds.
Thanks, GPT. That was very interesting. Let us do some more exploration later, after letting this conversation sink in.